Good afternoon. We're fast approaching Purim, and one would want to know what is the relevance of the message of Purim with the year 2009. First of all, just as in the time of Mordechai, there was a wicked leader by the name of Haman who wished to obliterate all of the Jewish people wherever they were. Today, there are extreme Muslims and fundamentalists, not all Muslims, but a certain part of the Muslim society, especially in Iran, that wishes to destroy not just Israel, but Jewish people wherever they are. And this is coming from the same land where Haman was, the land of Persia. The land of Persia is filled with great traditions and a great empire. And they treated the people of Israel kindly. And the people of Israel were loyal subjects to the empire of Persia until they were defeated by the Greeks. And this is a matter that is well known, that there was a friendship between the Jewish people and the Persian kings and the people of Persia. And this friendship continued on until the middle of this century, till almost the end, until the last century, until the Muslim fundamentalists, the Ayatollah Khomeini and his ilk, came into power. And even there, the Muslim society is not anti-Jewish as other groups are, because they respect the Jews who keep the Torah. That being said, the present government has made it its goal to destroy the nation of the Jewish people, which is called Israel, as well as undermining the well-being and the societies of Jews wherever they might live all over the world. Muslim terror is supported in large part by the mullahs in Iran and Persia. Just as in those days the downfall of Haman was not something that could have been predicted, people could not have seen that a person so close to the king, so close to the emperor, Xerxes, he's called Ahasuerus, but his real name is Xerxes, and that was his real name, and is known as Xerxes the Great. And he, with his ability and his charm and guile, had Xerxes convinced that the Jews were a foul element that had to be eradicated. And in one moment, in one episode, that relationship was transformed from evil to good, from sadness to happiness. And that's the reason why in Purim we wear masks of a masquerade, because things are only a mask, they're only a shill, they're only a show, because truly, at the core, God is there protecting the people of Israel. Of course, you could say, well, what about the pogroms, and what about Hitler, and what about... True. But we're still around, we're still surviving, we're still flourishing. There are more Torah students of true study of Torah today than there were in Europe pre-World War II. Yes, there are less Jews, but there is more Judaism, there's more Jewishness today than there ever was in the 20th century. That despite the fact that millions of Jewish people are disaffected. But God, in God's infinite wisdom, has brought us many things that have brought turnabouts in the lives of the Jewish people. It is my belief that that turnabout will continue. And just as in Purim, it turned over instantaneously, I believe that the Jewish community will do the same. And that being said, the Jewish community did not turn over immediately when Haman did his thing. There were many people who prayed because they were going to be killed and so on and so forth, but they didn't turn over completely. Their turnabout came later, after the events of Esther and Haman. And so, too, even today, it is my firm belief that there will be a turnabout within the policies of the Iranian government. Either the Iranian government will topple and a new government will take its place, or the Israelis will destroy the threat to them, or there will be a change of heart by Mr. Ahmadinejad or his people. Something will happen that will turn it around, just as it happened in the time of Purim. I'm not a prognosticator, but Purim is a time of transformation. Transforming evil into good is the theme of Purim. And what is the thing that we can do in our own lives? We have to take our energies and our enthusiasm and our passions, and we've got to go ahead and utilize them for the study of Torah and for the continuity of the Jewish people. And oh yes, one of the things that identified the Jews, especially during the times of Persia and the Greeks, was circumcision. And I know that there's a lot of people who question the wisdom of circumcision. But take it from me, the greatest doctor in the world is God Almighty. And if God Almighty said in the Torah that this is good for you, it is good for you. Now you may have questions, how can it be good? There are studies that indicate that it is good. Others want to cite studies that there's other alternatives. One thing is clear. It doesn't hurt, and it doesn't disfigure, it does not mutilate, because it does not destroy any function. And on the contrary, by circumcising, the child becomes a member of the Jewish people, becomes a member of the everlasting covenant with God, and that bond creates a relationship that is so profound, it can not only transform that child, but can transform the world around that child. The whole world and all the cosmos are transformed by the single act of circumcising a Jewish baby. So my friends, don't worry about what people say. Circumcision is not disfigurement. Circumcision doesn't affect anything functionally. Circumcision is a commandment from the Creator. And circumcision transforms the person, just as Purim did 2,400 years ago.